What's up, AnimeBallZ fans? Ray here with another episode of What's New Japan, the show where I find out what anime is coming out in Japan right now, and I tell you about it in the hopes that you'll find it interesting enough to check it out when it gets an English release. With that said, let's get started. First up on my list for this week is an anime called Joju Senjin Mushibugyou. I think that's how you pronounce it, probably not. It's an action story set in the Edo era of Tokyo in the early 1700s. The 8th shogun, who's called Tokugawa Yoshimune, ordered boxes to be installed so commoners can submit their thoughts about how the city is run. After hearing their voices, the shogun decides to create a new unit of magistrates called the Mushibugyou and their job is to protect the people in the heart of the city. Each member is a specialist with unique fighting skills, so it's pretty much a ragtag bunch of fighters who each have like a really crazy, unique skill, kind of like, what was it called, Basilisk, how like every ninja had a different like crazy skill. I'm guessing it's kind of like that. No details yet about directors or artists or anything like that, but it does look like it's going to be a pretty interesting series, so make sure you check that one out. Next up on my list is an anime called Yu Yu Shiki, which as far as I can tell has no relation whatsoever to Yu Yu Hakusho. It's based on the 4-comic manga featuring 3 schoolgirls as they hang out and chat. The main characters are the friendly, clueless Yukari, the enthusiastic, childish Yuzuko, and the more level-headed Yui, who hang out and talk about various subjects like ketchup, mayonnaise, hands, the sun, and pretty much everything else. It looks like it's going to be kind of going down the road of Azumanga Daioh and Lucky Star being the sort of crazy, out there, what the heck is going on sort of thing, with also a touch of girly stuff in there. Seems to remind me a little bit of an anime I used to watch called Potamayo. Very crazy, very hard to follow what's going on. But it does look pretty interesting. It will be airing in Japan on the same day that this video will be hopefully uploaded to YouTube. So that's something. So if you want to check it out, then, well, yeah, the internet's there. But it's interesting. But I don't think I'm going to watch it. But I don't. If it's something that you think you're going to enjoy, then by all means, go ahead, check it out. Finally on my list for this week is an anime called Shingeki No Kyojin, which is set in a world where the remains of the human population live inside cities surrounded by enormous walls due to the sudden appearance of a race of creatures known as the Titans, who are gigantic humanoid creatures who devour humans seemingly without reason. The main character, Eren Yeager, and his adopted sister, Mikasa Ackerman, will have their lives changed forever after the appearance of a colossal titan brings about the destruction of their home and the death of their mother. So it sounds a little bit like the anime Chrome Shell Regios, with the whole, cities within domes and everything, but it also seems to be the stock standard story of main character going on revenge and becoming powerful enough to beat the big baddie to obviously avenge the death of his mother. An interesting fact to note about this series is that the director is none other than Tetsuo Araki, who some of you might actually know as the director of the Death Note anime. So this series promises to be quite action-packed, as Death Note had its moments of action. It would have been more action-packed, but, the story kind of had to go the sort of espionage and secrecy and all that stuff. But it definitely looks like it's going to be a pretty awesome series. Highly recommend this one to everyone listening. So at the end of another week of What's New Japan, I've told you about a series called Shingeki No Kyojin, which translates to Attack on Titan, directed by the same guy that does the Death Note anime. I've told you about Yu Yu Shiki, which is based on a 4-comic manga and involves 3 characters talking about the most random stuff that they can possibly think of. And I've told you about the series Joju Senjin Mushibugyou, which is set in the early 1700s and is about a shogun and his brand new team of magistrates. Hopefully one of those interests you. That's it for another week of Watching New Japan. I'm Ray. Catch you on the flip side. Also, don't forget that Supernova Melbourne is going to be happening this weekend. There's going to be an amazing amount of stars there. AnimeBallZ are going to be there. Definitely make sure you come down to the Melbourne Showgrounds this weekend. Definitely check that one out because it is going to be absolutely massive.